In this video, we're going to talk about managing the services you offer. So to access the services, we'll get to them through the settings. Before we get into the settings, actually, I'll just show you the new client intake form. And this is where your services will appear by default. And out of the box, we have tattoo and piercing enabled for all studios, and you can modify this if you don't offer one or the other simply by going to settings, form editor, and you'll see your forms here. Under preferences, you can disable piercing if you don't offer piercing, or vice versa. And then if you save that and go back to an intake form, you'll see that service is no longer offered and tattoo is the only option. What we'll do now is we're going to go back into those settings. Let me just unlock the menu here. Go back into settings, form editor, preferences, and I'm going to enable, I'll put the piercings back on, and I'm also going to enable custom forms. And I'm going to save that. And if we go to the forms, edit forms tab under the form editor settings, you'll see here we've got some, I already have a custom form in here. By default, we have tattoo and piercing both in English and Spanish. And we have a custom form here for laser removal, which you can copy and paste some text from your own form here. You might have a Word document or a PDF that you have. Copying and pasting is probably the best way to get that in here. You can make some edits here, but using the built-in editing tools, if you want to do some formatting, like making anything bold or italic or underline, you can even highlight certain areas. But that's how you create your custom form. So let's make a new form, actually, because I'm going to make a new. This one's going to need a little edit. Okay. Form editor. Laser removal. Remove. Okay. So as you can see, we've got a custom form here for laser removal. I had just done this in testing earlier, but I'm going to just remove this here. This is how we remove a custom form. We can just delete that form, and now we're back to our default tattoo and piercing forms. Now, before we create the custom form, let's go check our services. So in the settings, under services, we're going to see a few tabs here. We've got the services tab. We have tattoo, piercing, and removal. I'm just going to delete that one for the moment. This is what you'll see here on an out-of-the-box installation. We'll have tattoos and piercings. And then we've got products, which we'll get into in another video. And then we have some categories. Now, in this case, we're going to add a new service for laser removal. And we can go about this a couple of different ways. It is a tattoo removal service, but I don't know if we want to include that under our tattoo category. So let's create a new category for removal services. So as you can see under the categories, we have some service categories as well as some retail categories, which we'll get into at another time. But for now, let's add a category, and this is going to be a service category, not a product. And we're going to call this removal services. Removal, and then we can just give it an ID code of any sort. This in the products, this would be like a SKU number or something along those lines. You can put anything you want here. I'm just going to call this removal, just like the name, and then we'll save it. And now we have a new category for removal services. Now under the services, we can add a new service, and we can add a variety of different services here. It is a service. It is currently offered. You can just check these boxes or uncheck these boxes depending on if you have staff availability for that particular service or not. So you wouldn't have to delete the service from your system. in order to stop offering it, whether temporarily, maybe somebody's on vacation, or maybe you're just looking to fill a position. But anyway, moving on. So let's call this laser removal. And right now we don't have a form for it, so we're going to go make a form. And it is going to be under removal services, and we'll do that, and I don't know, make up a price of $2.50 per hour, and you can check the box here whether something is taxable or not. I am then going to, so now we have a laser removal service. It is not currently connected to a form because we haven't created the form for it yet. So let's go back over to the forms setting under the form editor, and let's create a custom form here. So I'm just going to copy some text here that we can then just paste in, for example. But let's make a new form, and we're going to call this laser removal. Hit the little check mark, and now we have a laser removal form in English, and I'll just paste that text in there. We can save that. Now under laser removal, you can also add other languages. If you need to have a Spanish language version of that as well, you can add that by hitting that little plus sign there. But for now, we've got our form. Let's go back to the preferences. We have our custom forms enabled. All good. Let's go back to our settings. And then under services, I'm going to edit that laser removal service that we created a minute ago. And I'm just going to connect a form to it. So now we have a laser removal form. So what this is going to do is this is going to essentially make that form a requirement for performing a checkout on anybody who's got a laser removal service in the checkout system. This will basically ensure that nobody's able to check out and complete the service until they've got that form done. Now, when you head over to your main page, and I'm just going to grab a returning client just to save some typing here. And let's just say, search for test client, and we'll grab this guy, check the ID. You'll see now that laser removal is included on our form here. The client can check everything out, make sure all their information is up to date. Hit next. There's the custom form we made. They can sign and submit. There we go. That's the right pin. Okay. Then we can check all that information. And now when we get to a checkout, just type some stuff in here, staff signature. Now when we go to the checkout, we are able to complete the checkout because we have a completed form. Okay, and we'll see that that we have the laser removal service already in, our preset price, and then we can increase our number of hours multiplied by the rate, gives us our total. We can add session notes, upload photos, before and after photos here, and then hit checkout. Payment method, submit, and done. And that's how you create custom services and attach them to consent forms.